Would you mind saying that again? I'll rephrase that. Who have you spoken to since our last conversation about it, and what have you passed on?
I spoke to colleagues in the station and because I wanted to know a little bit more about it, and more people seem to know about the existence of legal prescriptions than maybe I expected.
Yeah.
So I'm just quite. I think the information is fairly well disseminated.
Meaning what information? What
about the fact that legal prescriptions for these type of things.
Oh, you mean amongst the force kind of thing?
Yeah. Well,
got you.
Yeah. I do remember it being something that came up a few years back when you mentioned about the cards, which have no actual legal standing, whereas the prescription does. So yeah, I'd hope it's something that would become more.
Give you guys less to do.
True, yeah.
And empty the prisons quite a lot.
Could be, yeah.
And potentially a lot of lives that have been destroyed coming back from that a little bit. There's a lot of people that... It was interesting that I think one of the things that I thought of from last time was when we were talking about how you were saying you'd had dealings with someone recently that had weed on them, and you were making a distinction between they definitely weren't a patient kind of thing.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to think of what that was about, yeah.
And it's kind of... That's not a distinction we can make anymore. Well, legally it's a distinction I can make. That's where my idea falls down.
What I was talking to you was about, because you mentioned about the cards.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of... It's not something I've dealt with a great deal.
Yeah.
Because I retired as a regular a good few years back, and these sort of things have become more to prominence in that time. So although I'm still working in the police environment, it's not something I would necessarily have had much first-hand experience of in the intervening years. So, but I do remember the fact that somebody was trying, and you can imagine that. I've only met you 2 or 3 times. You come across as a decent guy.
Yeah, I guess I've been here 3 times now. I came out and come back in again, didn't I?
Yeah. So, but you can imagine there are some people I've had dealings with over the years of a number of things, and this was the context of my question. They didn't have anything like you did, which was like a...
it can be hard to get, and it's fairly unknown about these days, still, sadly.
If it's being recognised, it's being recognised.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I'm limited to what I can sort of...
Have you had, from the people that you were speaking to about it, did you have any pushback from anyone? No one was kind of... did anyone say that you were wrong, or... So, there's a chance that... There's a knocking noise.
No, that's the... when someone comes in and out the door, it's to let us know somebody's come in, so we don't... Sometimes people have come... What you sometimes get...
Look, I'm fucking losing it.
What we used to get, sometimes people would come in and they stand at the corner of the counter. If someone's sitting there, they can't see this.
Oh, okay,
we don't want people just waiting unattended.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, when someone comes in the door, it lets us know as a customer to be dealt with.
Do a bit for the world.
Yeah.
I might...
You don't have to answer, no, but are you local or...?
No.
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 Do you like Norwich?
I've not really seen much... So I've gotten to Norwich and I've been to 2 live markets, and that's all I've done so far, and speak to you. So should we just say that you were the highlight so far, maybe? And if that's your response to yourself, that's what I think of Norwich.
Oh God! I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just talk about you talk about PCs on the. I got to just tal
I didn't understand any of that. What was that?
Yeah, to be fair, I said it, I didn't understand.
Okay.
I've got a feeling, because the sensors are a little bit on the sensitive side, and sometimes if people walk past the phone...
Sensitive sensors.
Here last time, and you said that if I'd got brought in for... got arrested for weed and brought in, And you said, like, well, the first thing I'd do is tell them to go straight back out with you because we don't have holding cells. So now I know you can't comment about this, but as far as I know, when the incident happened outside and Gemma was walked through, handcuffed out the back, you were there, and he wasn't told to go straight back out again.
Right, okay.
Do you see what point I'm making?
Yeah, and again, there's no problem in that because sometimes we do something a decision is made to diffuse. It wasn't the case of she was brought in at the police station to be booked in. She was brought in order to go to custody, which is what happened. So that's all I can really say on that.
That's okay. So if I was outside...
Well, let me just clarify. If somebody was arrested here, it might well be that they might be brought in here temporarily for safekeeping or to diffuse a situation.
To be taken to the place.
If they're arrested outside somewhere else, they shouldn't be brought here because this is not a designated holding area.
It would just be a temporary measure and to be taken somewhere else. It wouldn't be that.
It might just be for safekeeping. So I mean, let's say for example, if you were arrested out in the street and it was pouring down the rain. Is it fair to leave you out in the rain and the snow? If we got somewhere safe, we can just sit you down for 5 minutes.
I'm sure it's all about my comfort, yeah.
Well, no, it is. We're not monsters, to what people say. I've arrested hundreds of people in my career. Some of them have been absolute nasty people who you've got to be very careful of. Quite a large percentage of the people who are. They're not going to cause you any problems, and they're not going to cause me. I've like a lot of people.
Do you know what I mean? I've been criminalised for 30 years, and I just stopped leaving the house because of it. Because it's the only thing that gets me to sleep. It's the only thing that calms me down and stops me from absolutely raging. I'm on the highest level of medication, so I ended up just staying indoors because it's the only thing that helps. And I don't want to be arrested. And if I'm going into town, it's definitely the one thing that's going to help me get through that experience. Do you see what I mean? So it's kind of.
So to a certain extent, what you're doing here is actually a bit of a challenge as well. To actually get out and talk to people in this sort of environment.
Part of the whole point of me coming here to be able to be out in public and not have to hide away because the state tells me that I am disgusting and contributing to loads of awful things when all I'm trying to do is get through a day. So I think there wasn't a question at the end of that, was there?
Does there have to be a question to it?
I guess there doesn't, no.
Does there have to be diversions in every path?
Not at all, not in the slightest. That some people might see it and have a positive opinion compared to all the other stuff that is on my channel already about the police making an absolute pig's ear, if you pardon the pun, of the live market situation. Today was appalling, absolutely appalling. And it's clear that it's being left to fester because it makes the protesters look bad. It's really clearly obvious that it's been going on for like 2 or 3 years, and I've been down there twice, and I've asked everyone down there, all the police, what contingency plans are in place to deal with all these situations. And every single one of them has said, what do you expect us to do? It's like, I'm not here at work. I'm not trained to do this. Don't be asking a member of the public what you can do about a situation that's been going on for 3 years and hasn't got any kind of operational contingency plan. And I've been threatened with arrest today for swearing. I've done the same thing and go around tell them all about the issues that I've got, and it didn't seem to make any difference. Someone did ask for my details, for my medical details this week though, which is the first time they've done that. They didn't do that at all last week. I will leave you to deal with a human.
You take care, and
I definitely will. I'll bring my notes. Oh. Alright, I did a bit better. Oh, hello.
So that's why the evidence was reviewed. That's the outcome of that. In terms of the other side of it, I wasn't involved. Okay, I can find out who was involved with that and send you an email, but that wasn't me.
Yeah, but you have a duty to explain your powers and your decisions, and it doesn't make sense to us. Was it not put in public interest? Did it not meet the evidential review? There's footage from multiple angles. There's footage from multiple angles of what happened. That man's kid was in the passenger seat and he drove me on the bonnet at speed and aggressively all the way into the market and then said, go and fuck your mother's cunt. And we've been arrested for saying what? Chicken fiddler?
Yeah, that's
So
hard to
how
buy, mate.
you can explain the rationale behind not charging him.
I cannot because I don't make those rationales. Okay, it was based on evidence.
Exactly.
So
But what
down to
evidence?
evidential review
What was the
of your
evidence?
footage and footage that was collated, it was decided there'd be no further action.
Why? That's what I'm asking.
Right?
Why?
I don't make those. I don't do the
You
evidential
do make,
review.
you do make
I don't-
arrests, though, don't you? You make arrests
Yeah.
based on that criteria. So why can't you talk about it if you're allowed to, if you have the power to arrest?
Because I arrest based on suspicion. I don't make
But you
evidential
didn't even need
reviews,
suspicion.
alright?
The evidence was right there in black in from
Like I said, if
multiple
you've got a
angles, the
problem,
full
if
incident.
you've got an issue, it can be
Take it up
raised.
with PTSD,
Okay.
you're corrupt.
Alright, so you can take it up with them. You're entitled to a victim's right to review. Alright, which you can do, and then that'll be reviewed by someone else.
Yeah,
Alright?
someone just as corrupt as you.
On another note,
Gangbanger.
Okay, someone will attach it. Someone just sends me an email. I'll do it together, and then you can do it properly.
But you know that that's corrupt. You know that it's corrupt to have not charged that man. But if it had been any of us, we would have been. Yeah, because you
I've
know
seen
it's
the
corrupt.
evidential
You should
burden
be
reached way easier
explaining
than that.
your conduct. And you're not. You failed to do that. You've not accounted for your decision, and you know
I'm now going to
corrupt.
go inside, okay?
Yeah, go on,
Because I've got
you're
nothing else to say. If you want to,
Then Bobby,
like I
you've
said,
got to
you've
go
got a
home
right
and
to
sleep
review.
tonight knowing you're corrupt.
Alright?
And you're
So
colluding
you
in the
cannot call me into
persecution
the
of
police
us.
station, alright? Because it's
No, you can film anything you want from a public place. Anything that can be seen from a public place can be filmed. Don't bullshit. Don't lie. Do not lie. Break and win. Go on.
But we've got a security issue, haven't we? With the keypad.
Anything,
I can't see it
anything
from
that
here.
can be seen from a public place can be filmed. But you know that's don't try using your powers with us anymore because we've had enough of it. And there'll be more people coming down here to question what you're doing because people are sick of this.
If we do film this, how are you going to reach the evidential burden?
Yeah.
Right, Emma, I'm going to go this way. You can stay
You
here,
go
alright?
whichever way you want.
Thank you.
C140. There goes a corrupt copper, breaking wind. That's all he ever does. Hawks out of his arse, breaking wind. Arsehole.